the vision. $100 million wholesaling. So I wanted to take this first episode, and this show will be dedicated to basically going through the lessons, trials, tribulations, and the whole process of growing a wholesaling flipping operation to a $100 million in gross profit business. To give you a little context, I've been in the real estate business for about 4.5 years. I've been full-time in it for about 2.5 years. And last year we were able to do over $1 million in gross profit. That's before, we paid salaries and marketing and everything. But that was definitely a major milestone. That's what we set out to do the year before, but we were able to hit it. And, in that process, we transitioned from basically me and a business partner. I'm out there knocking doors, doing everything and closing all the deals and basically doing everything at the start of the year, to hiring our first team members. And now going into the end of last year, 2024, into 2025, I've got, 3 full-time acquisitions guys. I've got an admin, and I've got some virtual assistants and helpers and things like that. And I kind of wish I had started this before, but that was, our goal was to hit a $1 million. And ultimately I want to take the business to a $100 million per year in gross profit business, which is a huge goal, no doubt. And there's other businesses that have done it or come close. A couple names come to mind, but they're, in a bit of a different model than I'm doing. And, wanted to, along the way, I'm sure there's a ton of valuable lessons that we can share with you to help you grow your wholesaling business. There's so many that I can think of right off the top of my head that I'll share in other episodes, but, wanted to cast the vision of what it's like to be at a $100 million business. So that is, definitely life-changing money at that point. That's probably going to take us 10 years, right? That's probably 7 to 10 years out that we'll get to that point. And I'm along for the ride. So, this year, we're looking to get to 3.25 million, definitely break $3 million in gross profit. And then, the next year breaking that $6 million in gross profit. So basically tripling the business this year, doubling it the next year, which sounds very big, but with a good team under you, it gets a lot easier to scale for sure. Now that we have the more team members, the more money we have, definitely gets easier and easier to grow faster and faster, especially in this business, which is very fast. You can move quickly. There's very low, there's not a lot to it. It's simple, but it's very difficult in practice. So, why would I make this podcast? Why am I doing this? Why am I shooting for this big goal, right? I grew up in probably a middle-class family. We lived in a decent area, but didn't really have a lot of money growing up. And, my dad's a business owner as well, but struggled quite a lot until I was about 18 years old when I hopped into his business and was able to help him grow it substantially. Really haven't had a ton of money up until recently. Definitely started making decent money recently, but investing a lot of it back into real estate in the business. But growing the business to $6 million is key in the beginning to really get that income. I want to have a large family. I want to own a very nice house, but family and friends is the most important thing to me. And for me to have a large family with 4, 6 kids, something like that, and be able to provide for them and have a wife that stays home and do all the things that I want to do and have a big family, and I'm going to have to make a lot of money, right? Probably hundreds of thousands, over $500,000 a year to really accomplish all that. And so that's kind of the first goal, is to get that consistent income. But beyond that, for me, I love business. I love the wholesaling. I love real estate. I love building stuff, right? It's a challenge for me. It's the mountain to climb, right? And it's not about hitting the summit. It's more about the climb and what it does to you as a person, builds you up to, right? All the lessons and the skills that I'll have to acquire on my way to that is what is going to ultimately be the reward, along with, of course, the money, but building to that person and being able to be around those high-level people and just have done it, right? Having built it, right? I think it's just going to be a radically life-changing experience. What does a $100 million wholesaling operation even look like in practice, right? Because it's so out there. Well, really, it's actually not that complicated, right? So my business as it currently stands, most of our revenue is from foreclosure leads, as well as inbound kind of pay-per-click, Google leads and things like that, right? And there's a couple of businesses in my market right now that are doing between $6-7 million a year, pretty much just doing that, right? And so we just have to grow our office up to that size where we have enough acquisitions and are spending enough on marketing to do that. So the road ahead will just take time. Now, what is a $100 million operation? Well, the cool thing about this business is that it's pretty easily replicatable in other cities, other metropolitan areas. And so really all we need to do is build up our office here to about $7 million in consistent revenue with a, let's just say 10 to 15 person team doing that. And then we just need to replicate that to about 15 other branches, right? And so, or 14 other branches, including the main branch. And of course, when doing that, we can have a central office with a lot of the back end admin stuff to make the other offices more efficient. But that's really what it looks like. It's just 7 times 15 is $105 million a year. And there's businesses right now that are doing 7, right? And they're pretty lean and pretty simple in their operations. Of course, the business of wholesaling and direct-to-seller acquisitions can be very tricky and dramatic, dealing with distressed people and distressed properties. But the actual structure is relatively so. The challenge is going to be growing our office up to that level where we're doing about $7+ million in gross profit per year, and then simply rinsing and repeating and establishing more branches while we maintain the existing branches. I think that once we hit that $6, $7, $8 million mark, that will hopefully happen within 3 years or sooner. From there, the next years will be spent basically rinsing and repeating and growing other branches, which should be simpler because we'll already have a proven framework, a proven model. It'll just be a matter of hiring, implementing, and training and getting those branches up and running, right? And so that's the model. There's a few other things, people that what level at it, but definitely possible in this industry. There's only a couple people that have done it, but there's some names out there if you look at some of the big names. And I'm sure there's people that nobody knows about that have huge wholesaling businesses, right? And I think a lot of people, they have this conception of wholesaling that it's something that's just like to get you to flipping, right? It's a business, get you to another business. And be true, especially in the beginning. But honestly, I think wholesaling by itself is very simple. It's extremely profitable if run effectively. Doesn't really require you to have anything besides people and marketing. You don't need any kind of assets or equipment or really anything like that. You just need cash in the bank and a good team and systems and process, right? It's a service business. If there's any business to scale, why not, right? And now it may not at that level. It definitely is sellable for sure with all those systems, processes, and people in place. But definitely when you're small, there's not a lot of, it's not really that sellable. I flipped houses, right? I have rental properties, and in my opinion, wholesaling is a great cash flow business to be in. So that's why we're going to be scaling it to $100 million. And that's why I'm doing this show, to talk about, all the things and share with you all the life lessons that I've learned in the sales, the marketing, the operations, the people, the partnerships, everything in between, so that you guys can learn. And whether you join me in trying to scale up that big, or you want to build to $500,000, $1 million, $2, $3 million, I hope that I can share lessons along the way that it's going to help you to get there. So guys, I hope you enjoy the show. Please subscribe so you can see the next episodes. We'll probably be posting around weekly, and like this so that more people see it, that more people can get this great. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Hit me up on social media, and I'll see you in the next episode.